And y'all know I have a lot of poop stories. So like, yeah, exactly. So all these poop stories reminded me of that. But I'm actually gonna go with my first thought, which Andrew said happiness is destroying someone at Monopoly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. So it took me back to was the summer I lived with my mom. And for those of you who don't know, I grew up. My mom was 15 when she had me. And so I lived with my grandma and my step-grandpa, so me mom, papa. And Mima had sort of a reputation before I was born, that she's not the cool person that any of y'all that know her to be nowadays. Like she used to just go crazy, and especially my mom, she would wail on my aunt one time. My aunt was in track, and she wasn't supposed to go to a track meet, and her dad ended up being there, my actual grandpa, and so because he was there, my grandma took my aunt by the hair and like pulled her out of this track meet. So, that was who she was. And with each succession of grandchildren, she has gotten a little better, I would say. And by that, I mean, she was crazy with her kids. I'm sort of like the middle generation where she had her moments with me, but generally was better. And then the grandchildren that came after me, she was really good with, and she would cater their wrestling meets and stuff, which sometimes it was even hard to get her to come to my place. But it's good. It shows progress. So I'm really happy with her, and you all know I'm collecting her stories, and so I think there's a lot of redemption there, because she came from an abusive household, both physically, mentally, sexually, all that good stuff. And so this was a moment. I think I was 13 or 14. It was before I could drive, and and it was when Pogs were really sort of popular. Right, fucking Pogs. And so I don't know what was up with her, but she really had a hair up her butt about me having Pogs. And now I think it boils down to the fact that we were poor, like really lower middle class, in that they couldn't really afford Pogs. And they were like cardboard with pictures on it, and she was like, what the hell's the point of this? But she got really upset, and my friends got me Pogs for my birthday. And I don't know what happened, but we started to get into a verbal screaming match over Pogs, right? And she starts to come at me, right, where she's like physically, and there were very few times where she ever got physical with me. But this was also the point where I was like now suddenly taller and bigger than her. So she's coming at me physically, like to smack me across the face or something. And so I put my hands up to block her. Uh, and somehow, out of this, she starts screaming that I hit her. And I'm like, I would never hit you. Like, that wouldn't even cross my mind. I'm just defending myself. But she's like, you hit me, and now you can't live here anymore. You have to leave. And I'm like, you know what? That's fucking fine. I want to go live with my mom anyway. She's cooler than you are. But when she said that I had to leave, it was like immediately. Like, I couldn't grab any clothes that I had, anything at all. I had to go wait outside while she called my mom. And I do this. My mom comes and picks me up, and my mom's house is really, really small. So she has an upstairs where her bedroom is, and it's one room. And then downstairs there's the kitchen, the living room, my brother's bedroom, and the bathroom. That's all that there is. But she's like, okay, we can make this work. And so I start living with her. But then my uncle Rich, that summer his wife said she wanted a divorce, and so she kicks him out, and then he and his oldest daughter also move in with us. And so it's my Uncle Rich, my cousin Ashley, me and my brother and my mom in this really tiny house. And it's, a struggle because one bathroom, a bunch of us, in like what amounts to essentially like 4 or 5 rooms living together. But every night, my cousin Ashley and I would sit up and we would play Monopoly. Every single night, she and I would sit up over this summer, play Monopoly until we finished every game. Right? So every game, whether that meant that we started at 7 and played until 4 in the morning, or we started at 10 and we played until 6 in the morning, we started later and we would play until noon, but we would not go to sleep until we finished these fucking games of Monopoly. And she and I grew really close over that period. And then I get a call from my grandma, and she wants to see me. So, me being me, I was like, okay, I'll see you, but you said I'm not allowed back in your house, so I won't step foot in your house. And she goes, okay. So we meet in her backyard. And she is just like crying, and I'm like, what do you want? What do you want, Mima? And she's like, I want you to come back and I want you to live here again. And I said, no, I don't think I'm gonna do that. I like living with my mom. We have these really kick-ass games of Monopoly. And she's crying, and I said something to the effect of, all right, but what happened over these fucking pogs can never happen again. She's like, okay, you can move back in. But that summer is still referred to as the summer, for her, as the summer that I hit her, right? Which never fucking happened. But I moved back in, and I, finished my growing up in that house, and then as soon as I was able to, when I was 19, moved out and would move in over my dead body. But we have a great relationship now, even though I hit her, but didn't hit her. But yeah, so that's a summer that I played Monopoly every fucking night. And got kicked out of my house.